So I am giving away an Epic Edition. You guys already know that. All you got to do is watch an hour of the stream to enter the giveaway. And with that Epic Edition, you're going to get some early access. Now that's 3 days early access to the War Within expansion. But what are you going to be able to do when you get that early access and you win the giveaway from Samiccus? Well, Mr. GM is going to tell us what to expect from the War Within early access. Let's check this out.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about early access, and more specifically we're going to talk about early access and what is available or what is potentially available for early access in the War Within, as this is the first expansion to have an early access period of 3 days. But before we jump into what to expect from early access, just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, and that is boot.dev. Boot.dev is an online platform that know that the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. Boot.dev is online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. Using Boot.dev, you can learn back-end web development from start to finish in Python and Go programming languages. And this platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code, because getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is really the only way to learn. Programmers really do have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for a back-end developer in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. And what makes Boot.dev so fun is that you can earn XP, levels, achievements, and complete quests to get a top spot on the global leaderboard while learning how to code. So click the link in the description box and use my code MrGM to get 25% off your first month, or even your first entire year if you choose the annual plan. And thanks again to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Right, so yes, early access for the War Within. This is of course a contentious topic, as it is locked behind a pretty heavy paywall. So to get early access to the War Within expansion, you will need to purchase the Epic Edition of the War Within.
Or win the Samiccus giveaway. All you got to do is watch 1 hour of stream to enter the giveaway. Ooh, not bad. Just saying, not bad.
Which is the highest edition available. Now, this early access does begin on August 22nd, 2024 at 3 p.m. California time. Now, this is a global release as well, so it will be 11 p.m. British time, midnight in Europe, and various different times and days in different time zones, but it will be a global release.
Yes, that's like a 6 o'clock time for me on the East Coast. Yeah, New York, 6 o'clock, yeah, 1800.
EU, NA, and the other regions, which is great. And much like other expansion launches, the full release of the expansion is on August 26th at the exact same time. So you get about 3 days of early access if this is something you want to do. Now, as of the recording of this video, we have not had like an official post from Blizzard saying what is like exactly available during early access. So this video does have some speculation, but speculation based off historical things.
Well,
and of course,
they have said what wouldn't be available. He's probably going to get into that.
Things that Blizzard have said in the past. But as of right now, we haven't had a full post regarding it. The only thing we have right now is information on the dungeons and a small note on the website saying that early access duration is 3 days, limited time only, playtime subject to possible outages and time zone differences. Certain endgame features, including mythic dungeons and weekly quests, are not available during early access.
So essentially in early access, you're not going to be able to do, your mythic dungeons. We already know Mythic Plus isn't even coming till the raid comes out, so you're definitely not doing that. The season's not going to begin. None of that stuff. It's essentially going to just be a leveling, level up time. Casually level up and get ready for the things that are coming.
It says click here for more, and you click it and it goes to another page which also says click here for more, so it's just a vicious cycle. But that's all the information we currently have
it's
regarding
a
early access for the War Within. However, it's kind of obvious what is going to be available and what's not going to be available, so let's just dive into it with leveling. Of course, leveling from level 70 to 80 will be available in early access for the War Within. You will be able to do the new Dalaran scenario, level through all of the 4 zones, all the way up to level 80, and of course this includes the brand new hero talent system, which will be available during early access. That unlocks at level 71, and of course you'll be able to customize and use that as much as you like going into the launch of the expansion. Level time wise, you will
might be a good time to test out different builds, see what you like best.
Likely get to level 80.
I'm sure there's going to be a best build. You'll be able to find it on Wowhead and all these other places, GG. So we'll see.
Pretty casually by the time the expansion launches on August 26th. As for quests, all quests will likely be available, all the campaign quests and all of the side quests. The War Within has a ton of side quests to experience, which are super fun and some really interesting stories there.
What's interesting is I believe people who've leveled through the entire experience, the main storyline will not get you to cap level. You are in fact going to have to do some side quests, unlike Dragonflight, where you could have just done the main storyline and essentially gotten to cap level that way. The side quests will be required. You won't be told which ones to do. You just have to decide to do some along the way to be able to hit cap level.
Campaign is around 12 chapters across the 4 zones, so it is a shorter campaign than we've had before. One question on this is endgame questline. Of course, there is an endgame questline. We're not sure whether or not this will be available during early access. If it is available during early access, you will be able to complete these steps to unlock the Earthen Allied race during early access, but again, not too sure whether or not that'll be available. We're not sure whether or not the last chapter of the campaign is going to be a post-raid chapter, but yeah, we're not sure on the endgame questline as it's not fully available on the...
So some time-gated content might not be available. It's still TBD. You want to get a head start on crafting. Oh yeah, that's a good one. You could certainly get a head start on gathering up gold, farming some gold during this time for sure.
Alpha. As for weekly quests, as mentioned in their official post, it will not be available. This has happened historically.
Oh, did they, Sickbreed? They changed that? Okay, well, I guess we'll have to see how the world quest or the main storyline quest goes and what level, if we are at cap level by the time we're finished.
As well, the weekly quests and activities and things like that won't be available until the first reset of the War Within. So that will be on Tuesday the 27th in the NA region and Wednesday the 28th. So yeah, none of the weekly quests or activities will be available during that time. And that was the same case with Dragonflight as well.
So that'll limit your ability to farm gold there. If you can't do the weekly quests, things like that, yeah, those are usually good for farming.
Well, as obviously the expansion launches on like a Monday.
You'll be able to gather herbs.
World quests would also come under that. I would imagine they're going to go live after that first reset.
Yes, I will, Mark.
Within. As for dungeons, we do actually know about dungeons. So Blizzard actually put out a post recently mentioning early access and what is available with dungeons. So all normal dungeons will be available during early access. That is the Arakara City of Echoes, the Priory of Sacred Flame, the Rookery, the Stone Vault, the Cinderbrew Meadery, the City of Threads, the Dark Flame Cleft, and the Dawnbreaker. Some of these are level up dungeons and some of these are max level. They will only be available in normal and follower dungeon from...
Normal and follower, but I wonder though how many people are going to have early access. I'm guessing there's going to be a decent amount, but will it be harder to form up groups in those 3 days to do the normal versions of these dungeons? Obviously, follower dungeons, you don't need groups, you just do it yourself. But I was wondering that the other day, I was like, I wonder if there's going to be enough early access people to be able to legitimately run these all the time. There you go. If you don't want to quest, just run the dungeons to level 80. Yep, you could definitely do that. And yeah, Miraxes, I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong. I will be playing during early access and streaming it for sure.
Early access. Once the expansion launches on August 26th, heroic difficulty for these dungeons will be available, and then when Season 1 begins, it will be the seasonal heroic dungeons will be available. However, the normal dungeons will stay the same.
And Mythic Plus won't begin until the raid opens.
Also stated that all PvE rewards currently available within Dragonflight Season 4 will no longer be available as of August 26th, which does mean they will be available during early access, but... let's be honest here, they're not going to let you go into these Dragonflight Season 4 dungeons at level 80. I just don't see that happening. If that does happen, then that's going to be pretty interesting, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, all of the Dragonflight Season 4 stuff will end when the expansion officially launches on the 26th. As for renown and reputation, of course, you're going to be able to start farming all of that renown and rep with warbands and the War Within. This reputation is account bound, so if you do something on your main or do something on an ult for the first time, that will be done on your account.
That's pretty cool.
You don't get multiple amounts of reputation from doing the campaign several times. You just get it that first time you do it. Yeah, account-wide reputations. You've probably seen it a little bit in pre-patch already with the Dragonflight stuff. This is continuing on through the War Within and beyond. Likely not going to get to max renown during early access. There will be caps in regards to just the things you can do to get...
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to have weekly quests. I don't think dailies are going to be available yet. So yeah, there's certainly a limit on how much rep you're going to be able to get.
To certain renowns, we're probably looking at maybe getting to like 4 to 7 renown of each if you really, really push yourself. But for the most part, you're just going to naturally get that renown from the side quests and from the campaign as well, of course. Now, as for professions in early access, not much has been said at all, but it's pretty likely that gathering will be available, so you will be able to start gathering up materials to sell on the auction house. However, profession weekly quests will begin after the first reset, it appears. At least that's how it was in Dragonflight, so it's pretty likely that's going to be the case. Profession knowledge, Again, a bit of a mystery. Likely that you'll be able to get it, but I think it is just capped on the amount you can get in general. So probably just, other people are going to catch up pretty quickly on you anyway. So you're not going to get a massive advantage straight out the gate. And of course, like things like sparks and things like that will come in season 1. So you won't be able to craft any really, really good gear during early access anyway.
Sure.
As for rares, again, unfortunately, nothing officially has been said, but it is likely that they will be up and will be available. Of course, with Season 1 of The War Within, the item level of their drops will be increased. But yeah, as of right now, it appears that
they won't be active then. Season 1 would not have started yet during early access.
Rares just will be up, and they'll be dropping loot. Not sure what level loot that will be.
If they're seasonal. If they're just rares like out there running around, then yeah, I guess they would be. So, I mean, he's saying they could be.
I guess we'll find out.
We don't know what they would drop,
It's
though.
likely to see rares during the early access period. Going into world events now, there are several world events in the War Within, like the Theater Troop event, which I've done a video on. You have the Spreading the Light event, the Radiant Echoes event. There's various different events. I'll have full guides on all of them before launch, of course. But yeah, there's various different fun world activities that you can do. These will very likely launch after the first reset as well, so they won't be available during early access.
Right.
Some of them are unlocked through Renown, but yeah, I don't see them happening until that first reset, as they do reward pretty decent gear out of season, and then obviously in season as well, they do reward pretty good gear. So yeah, these outside world events won't be available, as well as obviously the Great Vault won't be available. Going into a new feature of the War Within, Delves. Delves will be open during early access.
Oh,
Tier 1 to 3 difficulty Delves will be available. Tier 4 and beyond open.
Tier 1 to 3 will probably be your equivalent to normal dungeon gear, which will also be available, as he just said. So there you go, like getting to cap level and then getting normal dungeon/delve gear will probably be like the best you can do during early access.
Open at season 1, so that's further down the line in September. And bountiful delves, where you get like the best loot, will likely not open until
probably
the
until
reset.
season starts.
These bountiful delves do.
I'm betting bountiful delves won't happen until season 1 officially kicks off.
Require keys though, so we probably will be able to start acquiring keys for the bountiful delves, but a lot of these keys do come from weekly activities, which won't be available till the reset. So you can maybe get 1 or 2 keys. I don't think it's going to be a massive advantage there in regards to like getting keys for delves. I think they're just going to be plentiful.
Yeah, if you don't know what the bountiful delves are, essentially like every day there's going to be one delve that's like glowing on your map. It's bountiful, which means it's going to give extra loot at the end of the delve when you complete it, but you won't be able to open that extra loot chest unless you have a key, and you can get the key by just doing, dailies and stuff like that. So those quests won't be available yet, but you might be able to get keys in some of the other ways, and if there are bountiful delves, well, then you'd be able to get some extra loot
once kind of the game starts going along. But yeah, bountiful delves will probably open on reset, but you will be able to do kind of leveling delves and tier 1 to 3 and get some basic gear and achievements and things during early access.
Nice.
A final note on this, mounts. So there's various mounts around Khazalgar that you can get that just, you have to farm a bunch of things or kill a bunch of things or collect a bunch of things. A lot of these will likely be available during early access, so if you get to 80 and you don't have much else to do, you can go around and farm those mounts, because some of them require like killing 1,500 things. I won't tell you more about that. I'm sure we'll do a video about it. But yeah, there's some pretty heavy grinds in regards to some of the mounts in Khazalgar. So those will be available, of course, once early access launches. So yeah, there you go. That is kind of all we know and what we don't know right now about early access. Again, I think Blizzard probably will put out a post saying what is available and what's not available, but I'm pretty sure on most of this. I don't really want to deal in absolutes, because only Sif deal in absolutes, so I don't want to put out wrong information there. It's a lot of speculation based off of historical things. Things like the dungeons and the weekly quests and things like that, have been confirmed by Blizzard, but other stuff, again, is just kind of like,
It's a good thing he wasn't dealing in absolutes, or I would have had to, do what I must at that point. It wouldn't end well.
Probably not available, which is true. But yeah, so there you go, guys. Let me know down below if you know anything else that has been said about early access. Blizzard have been very coy about it. It's been a bit strange, but maybe we'll get some more info soon. I don't know. Again, locking it behind a paywall, big controversial thing. I don't think they should do it again. Yeah, I don't know. It seems strange, but we'll see. If you like this video, guys, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And I am also streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM.
Yes, he is.
You're going to check me streaming the War Within pre-patch, beta, early access, all that good stuff, guys. I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Here it is. Pretty cool. So basically, like I said, leveling up and then getting that normal range of gear will probably be the best things you can do in that early access time period. Again, you could get early access with the Epic Edition, which I am giving away. And I'll end the giveaway the day before early access begins. So join the stream and get your chance to win.